Fight fam, what it do? So we are back with another fight prediction video. This weekend, August the 2nd, we have Oscar Duarte versus Kenneth Sims Jr. I will be live streaming this fight. So if you're going to be watching the fight, definitely join the live stream so we can chop it up and talk about the fight. So in today's video, I'm going to be looking at the stats of each individual fighter. I'm going to be giving you all my prediction on the fight, and then I'm going to be letting you all know how I am betting this fight because I will be putting money down on this fight. Now, if you decide to bet on the fight as well, please do your own research. I'm betting with money that I can afford to lose. So do not bet with your life savings or anything like that. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. So let's dig into the fight. All right, so this fight is at 140 pounds. It is in Chicago, Illinois, which is Kenneth Sims Jr. hometown. Fun fact, I actually used to live in Chicago before I moved to Florida. I'm from St. Louis originally, so I'm very familiar with the area and just the whole mentality of, people in Chicago when it comes to sports in general. All right, so let's look at each fighter's record. So Oscar Duarte, he is 29, 2 and 1. Mexican. He trains actually at Robert Garcia's gym. So I think that's a huge thing to note right there because we know at RGBA they get top-notch training, top-notch sparring, and his fighters are very disciplined. He is 29 years old. His height is 5 feet 9 inches, and his reach is 71 inches. Now, Kenneth Sims Jr. is 22, 2 and 1. He is from Chicago, Illinois, as I mentioned, which is where this fight will be taking place. This is his homecoming as a pro. So his first fight in Chicago as a professional boxer. I think that's also important to note. He is 31 years old. They both fight at 140 pounds for this particular fight. He is 5 feet 10 inches and his reach is 69 inches. So, Oscar Duarte actually has a reach advantage by 2 inches, and Kenneth Sims Jr. is taller by 1 inch. Now, Oscar Duarte, he has that Mexican style. He's looking to come forward, he's looking to attack the body, though the lead hook followed by uppercut, and his body shots are vicious. I wouldn't say he has the best footwork, but he doesn't lose balance or anything. He can do better with cutting off the ring, but he's going to try to meet you at the center of the ring and go toe to toe with you. It's not quite like a Isaac Cruz Mexican style because I will say Oscar Duarte's speed is better than Pitbull Cruz's, but he has that same mentality like, look, I'm not throwing a lot of jabs. I'm coming to break you down. He's going to throw a lot of volume. He has great conditioning. They have an excellent strength and conditioning coach, Dr. Charles, over at RGBA. So I expect him to be in tremendous shape. Now, on the other hand, Kenneth Sims Jr., he is listed as an orthodox fighter on BoxRec. However, he switches stance. So I think that's going to be very key for this fight because if one particular stance is not working for him, he can switch effortlessly. He has excellent fundamentals. He's going to be using that jab a lot. And he also has some pop on his shots. He doesn't have like knockout power. He doesn't have a lot of knockouts, but he has respectable punching power that his opponents have to respect. Kenneth Sims Jr. also works the body, likes to work the body, likes to counter shots. So he'll catch and counter. And he's not afraid to mix it up. So if he gets caught with some good shots, which I've noticed he does keep that head on the center line a bit too often for my liking, but he'll stand there and go toe to toe with you. Then he'll get back to boxing. Now, for this particular fight, the odds are almost 50-50. I'll go over those in a second. And initially, when I saw this fight, I was like, all right, I'm about to just bet big on Oscar Duarte. But I had to break down some film because I had recency bias. Like Kenneth Sims Jr. His last opponent. Let me see what the guy's name is. I can't remember his name because I watched the fight and I thought to myself like, he should knock this guy out. Oscar Duarte would knock this guy out, but you cannot think like that when it comes to boxing. Styles make fights. It was a guy that was in front of him. He was coming at him. And I'm like, why is he not putting this guy out? But Kenneth Sims Jr. was destroying the guy, like outboxing him, working him to the body. And the guy, he was tough. So let's see what his name is. It was Kendo Castaneda. Yeah, and that was in February. So that was in February of early this year, which was ironically on the same card as Duarte and uh, Motlino, which Duarte stopped him. Which that was a big stoppage. That was another one where the style made the fight because, they just going toe to toe, having at it. Now, this Duarte and Kenneth Sims Jr. fight was actually supposed to happen. However, Kenneth Sims Jr. had a knee injury, had to pull out of that fight, and instead, Oscar Duarte ended up fighting, what's this guy's name? Batir Akhmedov. And you should check out the film between Oscar Duarte and Batir Akhmedov and Kenneth Sims Jr. and Batir Akhmedov. So that's a fighter that both of these guys fought. So you could kind of compare the two. Now, Akhmedov's style is he has great footwork and he has power on those shots. So he can pretty much do it all. Now, when he fought both guys, both fights were close. Now, Kenneth Sims Jr. won by a majority decision, and Oscar Duarte won by unanimous decision. The scorecards for the Oscar Duarte fight were a lot wider than I saw the fight, so I'm like curious about that. But for the Duarte fight, he did step in as a last minute replacement. I think he got the call like a month out because Kenneth Sims Jr. was hurt. So that's just something for you all to check out there if you want to see how these two looked against him. They were in very, very close fights against him. They both came out with the decision. And from that fight, you can kind of see Kenneth Sims Jr. can do it all. He can definitely win in more ways than Oscar Duarte can. However, he's fighting at home. That's something I'm going to be very wary of because when Oscar Duarte catches Kenneth Sims Jr. with a good shot, how is he going to respond? Is he going to use his skills, or is he going to try to prove a point like you can't outwork me and stand in there and trade some shots with him and fight an Oscar Duarte type fight because of pride, or is he going to mix it up because Kenneth Sims Jr. can do it all? Now, if he does it all, if he boxes, mixes it in power, yeah, he's gonna get hit. It's boxing. But Kenneth Sims Jr. is not chinny. I do not see him getting stopped or anything like that. I see this fight going to decision, and I'll talk about my bet for that. But I see this fight going to decision. Now, do I see somebody potentially getting hurt from a body shot? Yes, absolutely. Now, if Kenneth Sims Jr. stands in there and just tries to go toe to toe to prove a point, which in that Akhmedov fight, he won the fight, but I think he was taking some shots that he did not need to take, but hey, he could take it, so he was in there to prove a point. So I'm expecting some action this weekend. Also important to note, Kenneth Sims Jr. has been in camp with Terrence Crawford before. He was his sparring partner for the Amir Khan fight. So he does have a crazy work ethic, extremely skilled for him to be in camp with Terrence Bud Crawford. So we have all of the facts about each fighter. Now let's take a look at the odds. I'm going to let you all know what I'll be betting, and then I'm going to let you all know who I am picking to win this fight. So right now, Oscar Duarte is minus 170 as a favorite. Kenneth Sims Jr. is plus 130. So odds are very, very close to 50-50. Winning method, Oscar Duarte by KO is plus 260. Oscar Duarte by decision is plus 165. Kenneth Sims Jr. by KO, TKO, or DQ is plus 550. And Kenneth Sims Jr. by decision is plus 240. Now, fight winner three-way, if we eliminate the tie, Duarte is minus 160. Kenneth Sims Jr. is plus 135. and a tie is plus 1600. I'm not betting it, but this is a 50-50 fight. That tie plus 1600 is a little bit interesting. Fights to go the distance, no, it's plus 150. Yes, it's minus 200. And then the round props, total rounds over 10 and a half is minus 240. Under 10 and a half rounds is plus 180. So the bet that I'm doing for this fight is over total rounds. I'll be doing the over 10 and a half rounds. I'm thinking about doing the fight to go the distance. I don't think anyone gets stopped in this fight, and that's a little better odds at minus 200. Um, but I would hate for something to happen in like the 11th or 12th. You know what? I'm gonna go with the fight to go the distance minus 200. Um, ah, yeah, we're gonna roll with that. So I'm gonna roll with that. Now, as far as who do I see winning this fight? This is a tough one because this is a 50-50 fight. Kenneth Sims Jr. is at home. He's fighting in Chicago. Like, he's a professional, so I'm assuming, he's been focused in camp. Oscar Duarte has been saying that Kenneth Sims Jr. was ducking him. Kenneth Sims Jr. made a point to say, like, you have to see me. Like, we have to fight. I'm not ducking anybody. So I think we're expecting a war, but my thing is, I hope Kenneth Sims Jr. fights his fight because he is a better boxer than Duarte, and he can control this fight with his jab, picking his shots. But if he stands in there and starts going back and forth with Duarte, that's not going to be smart. And the judges sometimes like to see the guy that's coming forward, the aggressor. Oh man, this is a tough one. So my pick for this fight, I'm not putting money on anybody to win this fight. I'm just betting the fight to go the distance. But I'm going to stick with the better boxer in this case. And that's going to be Kenneth Sims Jr. He's a better boxer. He's a better all-around fighter. He has better skills. So that's what I'm picking in this fight. And I think he wins by decision. So Kenneth Sims Jr. by decision is plus 240 odds. And honestly, at those odds, I might flirt with that. If I do play that one, I'll put it in the posted section, but I'm for sure playing Kenneth Sims Jr. fight to go the distance minus 200. All right, let me know you all's comments down below. What do you all think of the fight? Who do you all think is going to win? And how do you all see the other fights on the card playing out? We have Regis Prograis versus Jojo Diaz also on the card. That's going to be interesting fight. That's one that I didn't expect. All right, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Like, subscribe, share the video. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.